Okay. Hi guys. Today we're going to watch a PowerPoint, and I'm going to go over how do the how do plants survive to the environment, which is what we have been learning the whole week, or for the past few days. Also, I'm going to be trying to translate into English and Spanish so the Spanish students can understand what I'm saying as we go on. Today we're only going to be looking at desert plants and water plants, okay? So first we have the desert plants. We can see some cactus, some flowers, okay? Have you seen some of these plants around the city because we live in a desert? Ok, aquí podemos ver unos cactus, unas flores, podemos ver unas suculentas. Entonces, ¿has visto alguna de estas plantas en la ciudad? Ya que pues vivimos en una zona desértica. Desert plant adaptations. Waxy coatings on the stems and leaves help retain water. Root systems are widespread and shallow to allow plants to absorb water quickly. So the stem of the plant has a waxy. Can you think of like a candle? That's kind of like what wax is, and it helps it retain the water on the inside. Also, the roots, which are at the bottom of the ground, go they have big roots that can spread out throughout the area so the plants can quickly absorb water. Entonces, para los de español, las plantas desérticas tienen una cubierta en sus tallos que es como cera, como cera, como las de las velas, que eso les ayuda a mantener agua, a retener el agua, además de que sus raíces, que es lo que está debajo de la tierra, se expanden a través de la superficie, se expanden a través del área en donde se encuentran muy lejos y de esa forma pueden absorber el agua más rápidamente. Succulents, which are those, these ones are succulents, are able to store water in them in their stems or leaves. Spines discourage animals from eating the plants for water. Spine cast a shadow to cool the plants and help retain water. So, succulents, which are the plants that I already showed, do you see that they have like a bumpy figure? They're kind of like a balloon or like a ball. That's where they store the water on the inside, on their stems and also on the leaves. Also, the spines or the thorns disgorge. Disgorge means that it doesn't allow it, or it doesn't let the animals eat the plant because they're looking for water. Okay, because the thorns are obviously going to hurt the animals. It also says that spines or the thorns cast a shadow to help the plant cool down. Okay, so it's better to be standing on a shadow than it is to be standing on the sun, right? So las suculentas absorben el agua y las mantienen dentro de su tallo. Como les dije, estas son las suculentas. Parecen como una pelota o un globo. Entonces aquí adentro se almacena el agua. También nos dice que las espinas o, pues sí, sí saben que son las espinas, hacen que los animales no se las coman porque están sedientos, ¿no? Entonces, como tienen muchas espinas, pues no deja que los animales se acerquen porque los animalitos pues se van a espinar. Entonces, eso protege a las plantas. También dice que las espinas crean sombra y de esa forma las plantas se mantienen más frías o no les afecta tanto el calor. Vemos cómo se les hace unas pequeñas sombritas así. Si se fijan, si fueran un animalito, obviamente no te querrías parar aquí, ¿verdad? Okay, so now we're going to talk about water plants. We don't really see this kind of plants. Maybe if you go to like a lake, you might see some. I think these ones are called lily, uh, lily ponds plants, something. I don't know. I'm really not sure, but you can see on cartoons where the frog stands on the top of these ones, right? Have you seen them? Okay. So water plants adaptations. Underwater leaves and stems are flexible to move with the water currents. These plants have airspace in their stems to help hold the plant up in the water, just like this one. Do you see how they have the plant is right here and then the flower goes a little bit to the top. Leaves float on top of the water, exposing themselves to the sunlight. Okay, so these kinds of plants have their underwater stems too. So this is not the only thing that we can see. They have their roots. You can see a little bit right here. The roots are on the bottom. That's why they're absorbing the the water and the nutrients, but they also go to the top. Like I said, they have the stem has a little bit of air so they can be standing up. Like I explained, look at this one. Look at this one, how they go up from the water. Even this one is going up from the water. And it says that the leaves are exposed to sunlight. So all of them, you can see the shyness of the sun on top of the leaves, right? That's how they absorb the sun. Ok, entonces en español, las plantas, estos tipos de plantas tienen sus raíces por debajo del agua, pero además sus tallos tienen aire que ayuda a sostener las plantas las flores por arriba del agua. Entonces también nos dice que sus hojas están volteando a ver hacia el sol y de esa forma absorben la energía del sol. Vemos aquí los reflejos del sol en las plantas, o sea, no siempre están debajo del agua. Ok, another adaptations. También decía que las raíces no siempre están fijas a la tierra, son flexibles y se pueden mover con la corriente. It also said that the roots are not holding on the ground. They are flexible and they can move around with the current of the water. So if the river takes them another way, they are going to go with the flow of the river. Some other adaptations are in floating plants, the upper surface is waxy to repel water. Some plants produce seeds that can float. Okay, so they also have a waxy surface. Like I said, like can you think of a candle? It repels. Repels mean that it doesn't absorb that. It's not going to get sucked by the water. It's going to make the water like waterproof the leaves. Does that make sense? And some plants produce seeds that can float. Okay, so you can see if you look closely, you can see some seeds floating because if the seeds goes to the bottom of the water, to the bottom, it's going to die because it's going to drown those seeds. Okay, so it's just like when you put too much water into a plant, it usually um, it usually makes the plant die because it has too much, it drowns, it has too much water. So, en español, eh, las plantas flotantes tienen una superficie que está cubierta de cera, como ya les expliqué, como las plantas del desierto, es como si tuvieran la capita de cera como las velas y eso hace que la planta no absorba toda esa agua y se inunde, o sea, le quita el exceso de agua, solo mantiene el agua que necesita y lo demás lo regresa al lago. Entonces eh, también produce semillas que flotan, porque si las semillas no flotaran y se fueran al fondo del lago o del río, pues no crecería la planta porque se llenaría de agua y se ahogaría. Es lo mismo como cuando riegas una planta mucho, o sea, le echas mucha agua, al final se va a terminar ahogando y pues la planta va a morir. Entonces, esto es lo mismo. I'm going to stop right there. Maybe next week we can go over the other part of this PowerPoint. Voy a detenerme aquí. Si tienes alguna pregunta, déjame un comentario en, como un assignment. Ok, o déjame un comentario en... Te voy a dejar una parte donde puedes escribir el comentario. Ok.